Hello, this is D, and I'm back with another video. Well, we're all awaiting the verdict from Judge Corley regarding the Microsoft versus FTC case. Now, as of right now, it is Monday. We have not heard an announcement. Now, some people are wondering, what about Microsoft's closing date? Now, it gets a little bit murky here, I'll be honest with you guys. The temporary restraining order, I do believe, expires in like 4 more days. So it will expire before Microsoft's arranged merger close date. So I would assume that she's going to make a decision one way or another before that date, because if the temporary restraining order expires, Microsoft can just go ahead and close the deal. So if she's going to rule in favor of the FTC, she would have to come out before that. Now, if she's not going to rule in favor of the FTC, I'm not quite sure if it really matters when she comes back with her ruling. Now, of course, we all want it sooner than later, so let's not get that twisted. I'm just saying that right now, we're just going to have to be patient. I think at best, in like 5 days, Microsoft can close the deal. And I also believe within these 5 days, we're going to know one way or another what's going on with this deal. Now, today I'm going to shift gears a little bit as we await the verdict. And don't worry, I will come with a video as soon as the verdict is read, okay, guys? But we're going to talk today about Lina Khan, and she is actually going to Congress, and things are not looking good. She could actually be held in contempt of Congress. Now, this is no joke. Now, this is coming from the WashingtonExaminer.com. Like usual, I'll leave a link in the description down below so you guys can check it out for yourself. Now, the article goes on to say that Federal Trade Commission Chairwoman Lina Khan is set to testify before the U.S. House Judiciary Committee on Thursday. Khan, a name now synonymous with contempt for constitutional norms, has refused to turn over documents to Congress. This act echoes that of the FBI Director Christopher Wray and places Khan under the shadow of potential contempt of Congress charges. These actions are not merely political jousting, but have significant implications for all Americans. Now, that is just crazy in itself. Now let's go on. It goes on to say that the FTC is one of the most powerful agencies in the countries, holding the authority to govern every single business in the nation. A once widely respected bipartisan commission is now run by Democrats after Kahn's corruption drove all the Republican commissioners to leave. Now, I'm not quite sure on the whole politics of this here, but I gotta say, it's not good when one side runs a certain department of the government. There should always be a balance, and whether it be Republicans or Democrats, when you have one running the show, you're not going to have any type of balance. You can't speak for all people because both sides have different agreements. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know why the FTC took this case in the first place with Microsoft, because when you look at all the facts, you can see that Sony is the market leader, and all the things that they're accusing Microsoft of doing or wanting to do in the future, Sony has done or is presently doing. We've been through this 1,000 times, so I don't want to rehash it, but you guys know where I'm coming from. Now, the article goes on to say, but the consequences of Kahn's actions extend far beyond more congressional subpoenas, political feuds, or interagency bureaucracy. They're affecting the daily lives of consumers and businesses. Put simply, Kahn's policies hurt our pocketbooks. Before her tenure at the FTC, she became famous for writing a paper where she complained that Amazon prices were too low. The anti-consumer approach seems to have carried over to her tenure at the FTC. The agency, once consumer-centric, now prioritizes fair competition, a term that appears to be a guise of implementing policies irrespective of consumer impact. These changes do not come without costs. Under Kahn, the FTC has taken an adversarial stance against businesses working to block key mergers such as the Illuma Grail and Meta Within, even against the advice of FTC's own staff. Such actions hinder consumers grappling with inflation and may even restrict access to crucial medical treatments. Moreover, Kahn's policy shifts have led to increased fraud-related costs for people. Since Kahn took over, people suffered a huge surge in fraud, with consumers' financial losses to imposter scams skyrocketing 300% since she took the helm. This led to an $8.8 billion hole burnt in pockets in 2022 alone. But it's not just consumers and business interests that have suffered. Kahn has shown an alarming disregard for accountability and the rule of law, from suppressing internal dissent through gag orders on the FTC staff to allowing zombie votes from departed commissioners and alleged illegal collaborations with foreign governments. These actions have all undermined the FTC's credibility. Whistleblower reports also show that Kahn runs a covert fellow program recruiting progress policy writers without following federal hearing norms or disclosure requirements. Unsurprisingly, the FTC's once high morale has nosedived, with the agency ranking on the best places of work in the federal government list, falling from 2nd to 22nd. This decline can be traced back to Kahn's leadership style and her apparent disregard for the FTC's founding mission. The situation warrants serious concern and cannot be allowed to continue. Kahn's apparent disdain for transparency, coupled with allegations of abuse, have pushed the FTC into precarious territory. Now, that's pretty crazy. Now, right off the bat, I can address some things that I know from covering the Microsoft versus FTC case. With the CMA, the FTC was working together with the CMA, and they both blocked Microsoft, and they were working with one another. And we know this because in the UK, they're actually wanting to see when's the last time that you guys met. What did you guys discuss? We also found out that they met a high number of times. That is not normal in this type of situation. There were certain agreements put in place where they were not allowed to talk, but they were still communicating. So what were they saying to each other? Basically, where there's smoke, there's fire. We've been saying this for a while, that the FTC and the CMA are working together, that the CMA is doing the FTC's bidding. And that's why this court case is so important for all sides. It's important for the FTC because they need a win here. They haven't had a win since she's taken over the helm. So I don't really see them getting a win here, to be honest with you guys, but it is in the judge's hands, so we have to wait until the verdict comes. But she is not doing a good job. When we look at all the evidence in the Microsoft versus FTC case, Sony is the market leader. This cannot be disputed. They have the most exclusive games. They also have the most exclusive third-party contracts. And they are complaining that Microsoft wants to compete, that they're buying studios, and that these games are not going to be exclusive on the PlayStation platform. When Microsoft has said, yes, they will be on your platform, we'll give you a guarantee, a 10-year guarantee that has not been heard of before in the industry. And Sony doesn't want to take it. I think this ultimately is why they will lose this case, the FTC, because they didn't do their due diligence. I watched another article, and the correspondents were saying that the FTC, they don't care if they win or lose. They just want to show their face and let big business know that they're there and that they're going to give them a hard time. And I don't think that's a good thing. You're supposed to be protecting the consumers. It doesn't matter if it's a big company. See if it benefits the consumers. If it's a legal transaction, that should be your job, not to prevent a big company from working with another big company. And you have to look at the merits of each case and then decide if you want to bring it forward. And with Microsoft and the FTC, they clearly didn't do that because Microsoft is only trying to compete here. Now, I don't want to get too much into all of that. We're going to wait for the verdict to come, and then we're going to discuss that further. But I think it's very interesting that Lina Khan doesn't want to give Congress documents and that she can be held in contempt of Congress. And then that makes you think about the case that she has against Microsoft and the merits of all of that case. And as you put everything all together, you see that the FTC really needs a shakeup. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about all this. What do you think about Lina Khan going after Microsoft in the first place? What do you think about the job that she's been doing since she's taken over the FTC? Also, are you anticipating a verdict? Which way do you think it's going to go, for Microsoft or the FTC? Let me know all of this in the comment section down below. And like I usually say, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll see you guys on the next one.